Before Dave Mustaine became the unmistakable voice and guitarist of Megadeth, he was a young musician determined to make his mark in a rapidly changing rock world. His path to fame was anything but straightforward, and the story behind his rise reveals something deeper than technical guitar playing or legendary albums. How did a guitarist who once stood on the edge of one major opportunity build an entirely different legacy of his own? And why did the setbacks along the way become such an important part of his creative identity? To understand Dave Mustaine, you have to go back to the beginning, when ambition, determination, and an unmistakable musical personality were beginning to take shape. Mustain was born in La Mesa, California, in 1961, and developed an interest in guitar during his teenage years. The music around him was changing quickly. Heavy rock was becoming more ambitious, faster, and more technically demanding, and young musicians were searching for new ways to push the sound forward. Mustain was drawn toward that energy almost immediately. His guitar playing developed a distinctive character. Rather than relying only on straightforward riffs, he became interested in intricate patterns, unusual rhythms, and aggressive musical movement. Even before he became widely known, there was a clear sense that he wanted his guitar parts to have their own identity. But that wasn't the full story. In the early 1980s, Mustain became part of Metallica's early lineup. His time with the band was relatively brief, but its importance to his future career was enormous. He was involved during a formative period when the group was developing the musical ideas that would eventually help shape thrash metal. When that chapter ended, Mustain faced a major turning point. Instead of stepping away from music, he decided to build something new. That decision led to Megadeth. Creating a new band from the ground up meant finding musicians who could match the ambitious sound Mustain had in mind. Megadeth gradually developed into one of the defining names of American thrash metal, combining complex guitar work with sharp rhythms and memorable songwriting. What happened next changed everything. Albums such as Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, Rust in Peace, and Countdown to Extinction established Megadeth as a major force in heavy music. For listeners unfamiliar with the genre, the appeal was not simply speed. The songs contained detailed arrangements, layered guitar parts, and musical ideas that rewarded repeated listening. Mustain's role was central to that identity. His guitar style became recognizable through tight rhythm playing, intricate riffs, and a willingness to make songs structurally unpredictable. Few people noticed how much discipline was behind that sound. As Megadeth grew, Mustain's reputation as a demanding and highly focused musician became part of the band's story. But beneath that image was an artist constantly trying to improve the music. He was not satisfied with simply repeating what had worked before. That approach helped Megadeth continue evolving through different eras. One of the most important moments came with Rust in Peace, an album widely regarded as a landmark of technical thrash metal. The collaboration between Mustain and guitarist Marty Friedman created a remarkable contrast of styles, giving the music both precision and melodic depth. For Mustain, this was more than another successful record. It demonstrated that his decision to continue forward years earlier had created an entirely separate musical world. And that may be the most revealing part of his story. Dave Mustain's legacy is not simply about being connected to the early history of Metallica. His greater achievement was creating a band that developed its own identity and became influential in its own right. Over the decades, Megadeth continued releasing music, touring internationally, and influencing generations of guitarists. Mustain's approach showed aspiring musicians that complicated guitar playing could still serve memorable songwriting. His career also demonstrates how an unexpected change in direction can become the beginning of something much larger. The young guitarist who once had to reconsider his path eventually became the leader of one of heavy metal's most important bands. His journey was shaped by ambition, reinvention, and an unwillingness to stop developing as a musician. Perhaps that is the real story behind Dave Mustain. Not simply the guitarist with the distinctive red hair, not simply the founder of Megadeth, and not simply a figure connected to the early days of thrash metal, but an artist who turned uncertainty into motivation and built a lasting musical identity from it. His legacy can be heard in the riffs, rhythms, and guitarists who followed. And decades later, the most interesting part of Mustain's story may still be the same thing that defined him from the beginning: the desire to keep moving forward, even when the original path no longer existed.